It didn't sound like an actual altercation. Sometimes what we see is that moms and dads will get into a fight, and somebody will go get an order of protection. That's what this sounded like. So many people would be like, okay, we have a ton of red flags here. And we do, right? We have someone who has absolutely struggled with mental illness. And although he says he's cured, he probably isn't. We have someone who has used drugs in the past and who has been in jail in the past. And what are we going to do? A lot of people turn those clients away. I don't want to turn those clients away. I don't want to turn those clients away because those clients need my help. And people are not, in my opinion, defined by past drug use or the fact that someone's gone to jail, or even the fact that someone may be struggling with mental illness. In my opinion, there's ways that I can represent him and also put protections in place so that his children aren't exposed to someone who's doing drugs. So for instance, you could write a parenting plan that allowed the mom to request random drug testing. There's ways that I feel like I can make a difference in this person's life and give them a second chance and not judge them and really, really assist. But you have to be very, very patient and really, quite empathetic and really put yourself in the shoes of this person and understand that they have struggles that are different from yours and their life is different from yours. And the way that you would have done things is not the way they did things, and that's okay. So, and I think that is sort of similar for our employees, but our employees have different struggles, or we as a boss have different struggles addressing our employees' issues. Our employees aren't paying us to represent them, right? So when we're representing a client who's mentally ill, we have a distinct role. We know exactly what that role is. We know what their objectives are. We know how and what place we can fill in their life to make that happen. With employees, we also have a role, and it's a pretty important one. I mean, our employees look to us as bosses as not just mentors and role models, but really as a support system. At least in my firm, my employees look to me for support and guidance and patience and assistance. And I've had, maybe 25% or a third of my employees have at one time or another dealt with debilitating depression or anxiety. And we have to decide how to handle that. One of the ways that we handle that is by addressing it, by being radically candid, by saying, it seems like you're going through X, Y, or Z, or how are you feeling about blah, 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 and naming it and owning it, and then acknowledging that that's okay, that we have to do our jobs. And sometimes when you're depressed or you have anxiety, you've got maybe diminished capacity. And so at that point, it's important for me as the boss to shrink their duties. Don't start giving them new things to do or new projects to take on or new technology to learn. Be patient and supportive while they work through what they're working through. The next thing is to hold them accountable for an action plan. What are we going to do? Are we seeing a counselor? Are we taking care of our bodies? Are we getting enough sleep? Like, what are the things that we're doing to help move this process along? And sometimes you just have to get through a season. And how can I be patient and supportive, but not sacrifice the things that my business needs? And so that's what I do. I shrink down and get very specific on the things that I need from this employee that are not negotiable. They must happen, while trying to accommodate whatever they're going through. And then offering them support and patience from everyone in the office. So I'm sure you have your own stories and struggles, and I'm positive this is something that you see every day. I can tell you that many of my employees have been with me for a long time, and they've gone through these cycles, and it's always worth it. It has always been worth it to stick by really good employees when times are tough. Because there may be a time when you as the boss are going through something that really requires your team to support you in the same way, to give you a break, to shrink your duties, to watch you as you go through your action plan to get through whatever it is. Let's say your mom dies, or your kid is sick, or whatever it is. We are all on the same team working together and have the ability to be an amazing support network for one another. Um, so I'd love to know more about what you do in your firms, what works for you, what hasn't worked for you. How do you screen? Do you screen for this in hiring? Do you know? So that's all for now.